Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we present news we hope you find interesting and report on local issues and events. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
We appreciate you watching DCTV. Today's show is live Tuesday at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and re-aired on Friday at noon, 2:30 and 8.
Today is February 7th, 2017. Now here's the news. Reported by the Cortez Journal, two longtime representatives of the Southwestern Water Conservation District Board have been ousted from their seats. Board President John Porter and Vice President Steve Fern, representatives of Montezuma and San Juan counties, respectively, were voted off the board by commissioners in their respective counties. The board consists of 9 members representing Archuleta, Dolores, Hinsdale, La Plata, Mineral, Montezuma, Montrose, San Juan, and San Miguel counties. Board directors can serve an unlimited number of 3-year terms. Montezuma County Commissioners selected Don Schwint to replace Porter, who was general manager of the Dolores Water Conservancy District for 22 years and a Southwestern Board Director for 26. Schwint is a director on the Dolores Water Conservancy District Board and a critic of the Dolores National Conservation Area, a controversial proposal in Montezuma County to congressionally protect land and water along the lower Dolores. He did not return a call. Porter thinks the proposal criticized by Montezuma County commissioners influenced his removal. Under Porter's leadership, Southwestern Water Conservation District contributed funds to hire a water attorney to rewrite draft National Conservation Area legislation, which Porter thinks was perceived as support for the bill. Montezuma County Commissioner Larry Sukla said the commission chose Schwint because of his water knowledge, and the conservation area proposal did not play a part in the decision. Don has shown ways that he would save water and retain water for farmers and ranchers, Sukla said. John Porter is an icon for Montezuma County. He was involved in the management of the Lake McPhee Reservoir, and all the benefits the county has received from that is because of the work he did, but it felt like it was time for new eyes. When Porter joined the board in 1990, he said water storage and dam construction were the district's primary focus, including such projects as Lake Nighthorse. But gradually, the focus broadened to consider recreational water use and water quality. Porter refers to his tenure as a career highlight and said the importance of interbasin relations and dialogue will only increase as time goes on. Water supply dwindles and population grows.
From the Cortez Journal report, after a $39 million project to expand internet access in Montezuma County was postponed last year, local governments in the county are about to try a new approach. In March 2015, leaders of Montezuma County, Cortez, Dolores, Mancos, and Toyac formed the Connect 4 broadband initiative to find a way to make fast internet more affordable for county residents. Their first plan, to run fiber cable to all businesses and residences in the region, would have been too expensive to carry out without levying new taxes. Now, Connect 4 hopes to lower the price tag and avoid tax increases by asking broadband companies to shoulder some of the cost in a public-private partnership. Connect 4's initial proposal was for a fiber network that would provide at least 25 megabits of data per second, the federal broadband standard, to every town with one line stretching to the Utah border. The first step in their plan was to put 2 items on the 2016 Montezuma County ballot. One would require the county to opt out of Senate Bill 152, which prevented local governments in Colorado from creating their own broadband networks, and one would levy a 1% countywide sales tax to pay for the internet project, which was estimated to cost about $39 million. SB 152 made it onto the ballot and passed in the November election, but county commissioners took the internet plan off the ballot. Jim McLean, Montezuma County's Director of Information Technology, said the Connect 4 board realized the fiber plan was far too expensive. This year, they plan to try a new approach. Instead of installing fiber cables throughout the county, Connect 4 now hopes to save money by using existing cell phone towers to provide wireless internet. Wireless technology has really changed a lot over the last 5 years, and so you can push some really high speeds through wireless, McLean said. There are towers scattered about that could be used without a lot of expense right out of the gate. So the biggest expense would be building the wire itself and getting fiber to those towers. That part of the project will still be expensive, which is why the county wants to partner with other internet providers. They sent out a request for proposal in early January, asking companies how much they would pay to connect customers to last-mile internet services if government entities invest in middle-mile services. In broadband terminology, last mile refers to the part of a telecommunications network that connects the consumer with a service provider, while middle mile refers to the infrastructure that connects the provider with the internet at large. The local economic development group feels the lack of reliable internet in many parts of the county is hurting the economy. Right now, city governments in Montezuma County have access to high-speed internet through their own fiber infrastructure, but for most people in the county, internet remains expensive and slow. Connect 4 won't release an estimate of how much the project will cost until it gets responses back from the request for proposal, but they hope to fund it with money from corporate partners, state grants, and existing taxpayer dollars. The deadline for companies to respond is February 14th. After that, the next step for Connect 4 will be to get community feedback. Empire Electric Association, Inc. has offered to pay for a public survey about internet usage. Meanwhile, Connect 4 isn't the only group trying to get faster internet for Montezuma County. Cortez City Manager Shane Hale said the city's own Fiber to the Home project is on hold until the Connect 4 project takes shape. But the city has a grant for fiber installation from the Department of Local Affairs, and it will expire in 2018. So Hale said they do hope to resume the project sometime this year in conjunction with Connect 4. To learn more about Connect 4 and the broadband initiative, go to www.connect4.org or contact Chelsea Jones at 970-560-5581 or cjones@montezumaceda.org.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the cost of fire suppression nationwide has 9 times exceeded $1.5 billion since 2000, including reaching a high of $2.1 billion in 2015. Colorado state legislators expect the costly trend to continue because of a federal funding mechanism that pulls money that could be used for mitigation projects that could reduce the severity of wildfires. With this in mind, the state Senate sent a request last month to Colorado's congressional delegation requesting a change in how funding for wildfire response is prioritized across the nation. Senate Joint Memorial 1 petitions Congress to increase the funding for wildfire suppression for federal land management agencies such as the Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, and National Park Service. Senator Matt Jones, Democrat of Louisville, said the agencies transfer money to cover wildfire response costs from other parts of their budget, which leaves fire mitigation and improvement projects underfunded after bad fire years. The funding formula for wildfire suppression is based upon the average costs over the previous 10 years, Babette Anderson, National Press Officer for the Forest Service, said in an email. The increased complexity of wildfire suppression has resulted in the cost exceeding the average nearly every year since 2002, with 2005, 2009, and 2010 being the exceptions. When the 10-year average is exceeded, money must be drawn from the unobligated sources or other programs in a process called a fire transfer, Anderson said. The practice allows for fire suppression to be funded when emergencies arise, but it can lead to postponed projects, Anderson said. When fire transfer occurs, the agency is forced to divert money away from the same forest restoration projects that prevent or lessen the impacts of future wildfire. This funding is typically replenished by Congress, but can lead to disruption of projects and seasonal work, she said. In Region 2 of the Forest Service, which includes Colorado, fire transfers in 2015 negatively affected the number of acres of beetle-impacted forest prepared for commercial treatment, reduced the amount of stewardship contracts awarded for mitigation of national forest lands, and cut forest health field work as a result of shorter seasons for employees on temporary contracts, Babette said. All of that resulted in less fuel load reduction and increased safety issues from the potential for severe fires. Jones said the reduction in mitigation work is key to the argument for increased funding. Delaying it could mean increasingly severe wildfires down the line.
Reported in the Durango Herald, a bill that would repeal prohibitions on gun magazines that hold more than 15 rounds of ammunition was targeted Monday by Democrats in the state Senate. Senate Bill 7 would repeal controversial legislation put in place in 2013 that limits the capacity of magazines Coloradans can own. It was passed on a voice vote despite opposition speeches from several Democrats. Speeches were delivered as part of a motion that would have removed SB 7 from list of bills adopted by the Senate on second reading. The motion failed 21-14, 3 with Democrats siding with the GOP. Objection focused around the connection between mass shootings and high-capacity magazines. Senator Rhoda Fields, Democrat from Aurora, said she was speaking as a surrogate on behalf of the 12 who died in a 2012 movie theater shooting in her district in which the shooter was equipped with a 100-round drug magazine, she said. Senator Michael Merrifield, Democrat from Manitou Springs, said high-capacity magazines may not be used in all mass shootings, but limiting access to them can minimize the harm inflicted during some events. He said a ban on high-capacity magazines will not stop shootings in America, but it will absolutely make them less lethal. Last week, when this bill was heard in the Senate State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee, some argued it was not an extension of Second Amendment rights, but rather a restoration of rights that have been taken away from Coloradans. We are going to ask that you vote yes for the restoration of the Second Amendment for those millions and millions of innocent and law-abiding gun owners who just want the level playing field, Senator Vicky Marble, Republican from Fort Collins, said, but most Democrats disagreed. The measure was prompted by passage of high-capacity magazine limits in 2013 when Democrats held a trifecta, control of both chambers of the legislature and the executive branch under Governor John Hickenlooper. After the gun law passed the 2013 legislative session, a special election was held in which 2 Senate Democrats, including the Senate President at the time, John Morse, were replaced by Republicans. During last year's legislative session, bills identical to SB 7 were introduced in the Senate and House and were killed in the House State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee. With the Democratic majority in the House, this is the likely fate for SB 7 and House Bill 1097, which is its House twin.
According to the Cortez Journal, a fire late Friday night near Pleasant View destroyed a hay shed and caused $93,000 of damage, according to a report from Montezuma County Sheriff's Deputy Jared Farnsworth. Emergency personnel responded to the fire at the 21,000 block of County Road 18 just before 11 p.m. on Friday, the report states. A 90 by 60 foot hay shed was engulfed in flames when Farnsworth arrived on scene, and the structure was distorting, warping, and changing color on all sides, he said in the report. There were no people or livestock animals in the structure, the report states. Pleasant View Fire Chief Jeff Yoder said Monday the fire's cause has not been determined. About 16 firefighters were on scene from the Pleasant View Department, as well as a few from the Lewis Areola Department, he said. Firefighters were on scene until 3:30 a.m. Saturday morning, and the last person left the scene at 7 a.m., he said. This is the second structure fire in the area in the past week. A January 31st fire destroyed a barn on County Road 22 near Lewis Areola. Yoder said hot farm equipment can be dangerous if left too close to hay. My suggestion would be to park your equipment quite a ways away from the hay, he said. In addition to the destroyed barn, the property owner reported damage to farm equipment and 180 bales of hay for a total of about $93,000, according to Farnsworth's report. And now let's take a look at our weather.
The National Weather Service has issued a hazardous weather outlook notice for eastern Utah and western Colorado. Snow will continue for the mountains today with rain for the valleys. As the day progresses, the heaviest snowfall will shift to the central and northern mountains. Some gusty winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour are also possible over the higher elevations in Colorado, where some blowing snow may drop visibility to near zero at times. Looking forward from Wednesday through Monday, they indicate snow will slowly come to an end Wednesday though some showers will continue for the Park and Gore ranges as well as the flat tops. Thursday will be dry as weak ridging builds in. This changes Friday afternoon as the next system brings yet another round of snow and rain to Colorado. This storm will persist throughout the weekend. For the national weather map, it shows the low pressure system staying to our north, which is holding off a lot of what was anticipated to be stormy weather coming to our area, though rain persists on the west coast with snow all across the northwest. A stretch of very active severe thunderstorms are moving east from the south to the Midwest, with a rain and rain mix possible in areas of the eastern seaboard. The DCTV 5-day forecast shows partly sunny skies for Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the upper 40s and lower 50s, with the low overnight rising from the upper 20s to the upper 30s. Friday into Saturday, there is still forecast a chance of rain as the high temperatures go up into the upper 50s and possibly just 40 degrees for Friday night. Then that cold front is expected to come in again to suppress nighttime temperatures back down into the 20s as the lingering rain chance on Saturday turns into a low chance of rain or snow Sunday. The good news in all of this is that after this weekend, all of next week looks to be mostly sunny and slightly above average temperatures through to the following weekend. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, road conditions deteriorated as snow started to fall in the mountains around Durango on Monday, and it is expected to continue until Wednesday. A winter weather advisory for Telluride, Silverton, Rico, and Hesperus went into effect at 4 p.m. Monday, and it is scheduled to last until 6 p.m. Wednesday, according to the National Weather Service. Commercial vehicles traveling on U.S. Highway 550 on Colbank and Mullis Pass are required to have chains according to the Colorado Department of Transportation. Passenger vehicles are required to have snow tires or chains or an all-wheel drive. The chain law went into effect at 5:30 p.m. Monday. The traction laws also are in effect on U.S. Highway 160 on Wolf Creek Pass.
Here's a possible sweet deal for the state of Colorado. No, really, as reported in BizWest.com. Ohio-based J.M. Smucker Company could receive up to $10.6 million in incentives if it goes through with its plans announced last week to build a $340 million manufacturing plant in the eastern portion of Longmont in Weld County. The incentive packages would be from the state of Colorado, worth $1.1 million, Weld County, nearly $3 million, and up to $6.5 million from the city of Longmont. The project is contingent on the approval of the tax and business incentives that range from cash payments to fee and tax rebates and are tied to the number of jobs created and meeting wage requirements for employees. The plan would be built in 2 phases, and it could employ up to 500 employees when built out. The project would employ about 650 construction workers, according to a City of Longmont public document. J.M. Smucker has 60 acres of vacant land under contract in the Concepts Industrial Park at the northwest corner of Colorado Highway 119 and Fairview Street, where it would build the plant. Jennifer Doan, a spokeswoman for Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade, said J.M. Smucker qualified for a performance-based incentive in the form of a $1.1 million cash grant awarded through the state's Strategic Fund Incentive Program. That's authorized by the Colorado Economic Development Council. The grant is dependent on J.M. Smucker creating 382 new full-time jobs at an average annual wage of $54,241. Rich Werner, president and chief executive of Greeley-based Upstate Colorado Economic Development, said Weld County has offered a personal property tax rebate on equipment of 50% for 10 years that he estimates will to be worth $2.4 million. The county also will provide J.M. Smucker with a $500,000 grant to be used to train new employees. Werner said one of the keys to J.M. Smucker choosing the site in Longmont after looking at several sites in other states was its proximity to a rail line. The Great Western Railway runs parallel to the north side of the Concepts Industrial Park. The Great Western Railway operates about 80 miles of track in Colorado and interchanges with the Union Pacific Railroad as well as the BNSF Railway. The city of Longmont is considering an ordinance next week that, if passed, would offer J.M. Smucker up to $6.5 million in tax rebates on building permit and planning fees, sale use taxes on materials for construction and equipment for the plant, as well as personal property taxes. After all rebates and concessions are accomplished, the city will still recognize an estimated $5.8 million in net direct fiscal impact over 10 years. Later this month, we'll be reporting on the potential for Dolores County to consider adopting a resolution to be a participant in the Colorado Jumpstart program, offering business incentives for companies to locate in Dolores County.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Colorado Small Business Development Center has opened a Cortez office at 31 West Main Street, in the same space as the Cortez Area Chamber of Commerce. Office Manager Mary Shepard said office personnel will be available for one-on-one business consulting. This gives us a better, more confidential space, she said. People at the center can help businesses with marketing, growth planning, investing, and other topics, according to the center's website. Liz Ross said they will be doing a needs assessment that will help identify services that local businesses could benefit from. They will also offer workshops on business topics such as entrepreneurship, she said. Some top priorities for the center will be helping businesses with marketing, including social media and financial literacy, Shepard said. Ross said the center also will put emphasis on helping businesses owned by women and minorities. The Cortez office will be a hotspot for entrepreneurs from the Mountain Ute tribe, she said. Agribusiness activity is increasing in Cortez, and another priority will be to help existing businesses in that field, Ross said. Things have picked up here, she said. For more information, contact Shepard at 247-7009 or visit the center's website, sbdcfortlouis.org.
And for today's high country happenings. So what's happening on Valentine's Day? Well, in Durango, there's a free event at Buckley Park called 1 Billion Rising. They say it is the biggest mass action to end violence against women in human history. The campaign began as a call to action based on the staggering statistic that 1 in 3 women on the planet will be beaten or raped during her lifetime. With the world population at 7 billion, this adds up to more than 1 billion women and girls. Join them on February 14th at Buckley Park in Durango. Communities across the world will come together to speak out, strike, dance, and rise in defiance of the injustices women suffer, demanding an end at last to violence against women. 1 Billion Rising was originally created by playwright Eve Ensler, author of the Vagina Monologues. This group expanded in 2014 in Rome and followed by another gathering in New York in 2015, and then their overall plan for what you'll see next week came together in 2016 with a focus on marginalized women and girls. This year's campaign was organized in Croatia. The organizers listed on 1billionrising.org include quite a lengthy group of individuals from all around the world, which might be interesting to know. It lists Monique Wilson, a Philippine actress, Fartun A. Adan, a Somali-Canadian humanitarian from Mogadishu, Abda Bahlia, a founder of the 1984 feminist organization Jagori in Delhi, Kamala Basin, a South Asian feminist network activist, Reda Boric, feminist activist director of the Center for Women's Studies in Zagreb, Nicoletta Billi, an Italian cinema publicist, Chi Hui Hyung, CEO of the Garden of Hope Foundation in Taiwan, Koloni Hlatwako, an African feminist activist, Kushi Kabir, longtime Bangladeshi activist, Marsha Pamela Lopez Calderon, a V-Day activist since 2001 and event coordinator for Central and South American events, Maria Meyer, the Miami core organizer with 1 Billion Rising, Jessica Montoyo, activist out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, Andres Naimi, Mexican male producer for V-Day events, having worked 13 years with the Vagina Monologue production, Nyasha Sengai, 1 Billion global coordinator for Zimbabwe, and Isatau Toure, director and co-founder of GAMCO TRAP and 1 Billion Rising West Africa. Hopefully the focus of the event will retain its original goal and not be co-opted by political agendas here in the U.S. as a platform to rant against Trump or the like. Funny how in the name of love, there could be so much hate and anger. Just a thought. But if you'd like to simply recognize the day to share time in respect of your loved ones, Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day at the Seven Rivers Restaurant in the Ute Casino, they're offering a romantic dinner for $47 per person from 5 to 10 p.m. To make reservations, go to skyutecasino.com. All of the happenings are listed on the DCTV Facebook page. Check it out. We hope to be bringing the news to you live streaming from Facebook very soon. If you have news or event information you'd like us to share, send us an email. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us here at the station. The number is 677-4119.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of January 30th through February 5th. A 3-car accident was responded to by the Sheriff's Office and Dove Creek Ambulance Service. The accident turned out to be in Montezuma County, just north of Pleasant View. All units stayed to help with the scene, and there were no serious injuries. A deputy received a report of animal neglect. Upon investigation, deputies notified owners and will come to monitor the situation. A county resident reported a case of identity theft. A deputy responded to a loose horse on Highway 491 just south of Cajon. He was unable to find the horse, but did find an individual needing a ride to town. Several reports of boulders on Highway 145 were referred to CDOT. Several courtesy rides were given by the Sheriff's Office to people in need due to the storm. That's it for this week's Roundup. Stay tuned for continuing updates. Thanks for tuning in. A reminder that this program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m., and again aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 2:30, and 8 p.m. each day respectively.
And check us out on Facebook and the YouTube replays. Like us there, join the local conversation, and share it with a friend. Today we have a special Talk Tuesday interview directly following the news. Today's guests represent the Dolores County Dove Creek Community Voice. We hope you'll stay tuned to find out more about what's happening with their group.
For Kendra Cook and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.